We take about 30,000 breaths every single day. So out of those 30,000 breaths, oxygen and air quality is one of the most important things for our body in order for us to heal properly. Down here, you have a lot of mold and mildew. You know, if you have pets, you have pet dander. Home building sickness syndrome is huge, which means that most of the homes and the buildings that people work in are actually sick. We have smoke, ozone and pollution, dirty AC filters, chemtrails. You know, this is a controversial issue. We've done a lot of research on it. I'm sure you guys have seen all the trails in the sky lately. VOCs, volatile organic compounds. All this you add up, and these are the things that you're breathing into your body on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, playing and crawling on a typical floor exposes babies to fumes from contaminants such as mold, mildew, and dust mites. 1 day of exposure introduces the equivalent of 4 cigarettes to an infant's lungs. The carpet has a lot of what's called volatile organic compounds, fire retardants, stuff like that, and chemicals on it that outgas, and just all the dust and everything else that falls onto the carpet. Sick building syndrome and house syndrome you have up in the attic. Usually most people have toxic things. You can see the couch, the rug, even the car. You might have paints and stuff in there. There's usually a lot of toxic things. We were doing a reality show called Dr. Detox, where we actually went into people's homes and started, and even when we had our clinic, we would go into people's homes because everybody will tell you, yeah, I don't have anything that's toxic, you know, everything's fine. And you walk in and you say, you go through the kitchen, this is toxic, this is toxic. You go through the whole house, and then you end up seeing, you know, all these things that are exposing people. We had a cancer patient that was 18 one time. We couldn't find what was going on. Healthy kid, you know, ate pretty good. And sure, we went to his house, and sure enough, right, he had testicular cancer. And sure enough, right where he slept on his bed was a geopathic fault line, and it was producing this negative energetic field coming up right where his testicles were. And so we moved his bed to another room, and then he started to get better. It could be something that simple. In the last 10 years, respiratory disease in the U.S. has moved from 8th to the 3rd highest cause of death. Of course, the #1 leading cause of death is medical mistakes. The average bed is home to anywhere from 100,000 to 10 million dust mites, and you can't see them. 80% of the material you can see floating in a sunbeam is actually human skin flakes. Indoor air may have toxic chemical concentrations of up to 100 times higher than outdoor air. And 50% of all illness, according to the American College of Allergies, is caused or aggravated by indoor air pollution. Because they're building all these buildings and homes so tight and energy efficient that nothing is allowed, and they're building it with toxic materials too that are coated in fire retardants, formaldehyde, and all kinds of chemicals. Talked a little bit about chemtrails, but I feel it's very important because what's happening is we've done a lot of research into this, and it's a controversial kind of conspiratory subject, but the fact is it's true, and if you do the research you'll find the same thing. There's been tests and people going to test the snow and everything out there. And you can read the government documents actually. They say themselves that they're spraying high levels of aluminum nanoparticles in the atmosphere. That's why a bunch of stewardesses and flight attendants are being ill. They actually have aerotoxic syndrome now because the pilots are quitting and they're all becoming severely ill. I know that because Southwest Airlines contacted me and wanted me to help them out with some of their health stuff because their expenses are getting so high because all their flight attendants. Well, what they're doing, and when you fly, is they're sucking this air in from the outside. And what they're spraying in the air, according to preventing global warming, is high levels of aluminum nanoparticles. And the aluminum nanoparticles, that's the main one, but there's all kinds of other things. They found desiccated human red blood cells in there. They found uranium particles in there, pathogens, pesticides, all kinds of stuff. All this stuff is falling down on us. Thank God Houston is not really a heavily sprayed city, but in other parts of the United States, they're spraying every single day. And it's affecting the soil, it's killing plants, etc. So I would highly recommend that you do some research on that and maybe help join the revolution on trying to get them to stop. So what do you do and how do you breathe clean air? One of the things I like is telling people to put live plants in their home, like at least 2 plants, and the office too, because plants produce oxygen and they absorb toxins actually, and they process them, and they also suck in carbon dioxide. Taking walks in nature and near water is always really good. The ions in the air are really good around waterfalls or the ocean. Oxygen supplements are available out there. Changing your air filters regularly in your home is really important. You can also use aromatherapy diffusers. That's where you put essential oils in a diffuser and it just kind of goes through your air and helps clean the air. Crystal salt lamps work good as well. The HEPA filtration is okay. The one I recommend and the one I use is the REMI unit, and the reason why is when the SARS epidemic broke out in China, the Chinese government hired a team of scientists to find what was the best air purification system in the world that they could use for their hospitals and put in all their buildings so that would kill the SARS. And they looked all over the world and tested a bunch of them, and it was a company in the United States that had the best unit. And they sell a unit called the REMI unit, and it produces ionized hydroperoxides, and what I love about it is it actually fits into your HVAC or your main air conditioning system. So a lot of those air purification systems that just turn and on your floor, they only grab an ionized stuff like this high. Well, you're up here breathing this air, and then it falls to the ground. This actually goes through all your ducts and comes down in and cleans all the air in your home. The bedroom I put on there is really the most important part if you want to take this slow and start cleaning up your air, because you want to be able to sleep sound for 8 hours every night. That's when your body heals, and you want to be able to breathe clean air when you sleep. So it's really important. Anybody that has like the memory foam mattresses, the first thing we would do is we would go into the person's bedroom and say, this is what we need to fix first. You have memory foam mattress in here, which is outgassing stuff that you're breathing all night long. You need to switch to an organic mattress, switch to organic bedding, switch to organic pillow. You have your cell phone plugged in right here. Get rid of that. Let's put some plants in here. You know, let's clean up this place where you sleep and make your sleeping environment really nice and clean, because you're going to be, you know, sleeping there and breathing that air in all night long. So it has to be clean. And most of the time, every time we did that, a lot of their symptoms would just start going away already, just for that 8 hours of breathing pure, clean air.